Hello and welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute-a-day podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse, recorded here in the dining room of the Bible Bistro, located in Sharonville, Ohio. Hey there, friend. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio here in the Bible Bistro. This is your home for organic Bible study that's fresh and delicious, responsibly handled, locally sourced. This is Daily Dose Radio, 5 minutes a day, 5 days a week, studying the Psalms verse by verse. This week and next, we have a really grand psalm. This is Psalm 105. We've been in the first half this week. We're going to see the second half next week. I'm going to entitle this psalm, Remember, because we begin with that and we end with that in Psalm 105. And we're remembering all that God has done, His marvelous works for the children of Israel. And we're commanded to remember. Remembering is good for us. And so here we've seen Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and God confirmed to them an oath and made a covenant, and it's everlasting. And today we're going to read the very words of the oath and then read a little bit about this pre-Egyptian life of the patriarchs. So let me begin there in verse 11, saying, "Unto thee will I give the land of Canaan, the lot of your inheritance, when they were but a few men in number, yea, very few, and strangers in it, when they went from one nation to another, from one kingdom to another people. He suffered no man to do them wrong, yea, he reproved kings for their sakes, saying, Touch not mine anointed, and do my prophets no harm." So you have here in verses 11 through 15, this concludes that first part of the psalm that was written in 1 Chronicles 16. And so we have the actual oath right here in verse 11. So he made a covenant with Abraham, his oath unto Isaac. This is what he promised, saying, so this is a quote, all right? He's quoting the Lord here. "Unto thee will I give the land of Canaan, the lot of your inheritance." So he gave them a promise, swore it to them by an oath, and yet they did not inherit it because their faith saw something better. They looked forward to something more. They sought a city whose builder and maker is God. So they were seeking something, but the promise of the land and the inheritance, the patriarchs never saw that, even though the promise was made to them. 3 generations. And then they went off into captivity. And so many more generations. And they didn't see the promise. So the promise is made, and yet God remembers the promise. He remembers the covenant that He made. And so this is all about, God remembering this covenant and God bringing it to pass. And the whole psalm is about that. This part 1 that we're just going to do down to 24, and then part 2, which we'll take up next week. "Saying unto thee, I will give the land of Canaan, the lot of your inheritance, when they were few in number, and very few, strangers in it, when they went from one nation to another." So God made them a promise which they could not fulfill themselves. Only He could do this because they were few. They were few, they were strangers, they wandered from nation to nation. They couldn't do this, from one kingdom to another people. And all the while that He's doing this with them, even though they were unable to fulfill the promise, even though they were not capable of being a part of that fulfillment, yet He kept them the whole time as they wandered. Because you'll notice it says, He suffered no man to do them wrong, yea, He reproved kings for their sakes. You remember what happened with Pharaoh when he took Sarah to be his wife. Yeah, God reproved the king. You remember what happened to Abimelech when he took Rebekah to be his wife. God reproved the king. And He suffered no man to do them wrong. You'll recall with the argument that Isaac got into with the people of the land, the Abimelech that was around in his day. And also, you remember the argument that Jacob got into with his uncle. And eventually it led to a separation. And God kept Laban from attacking Jacob. Remember that? He came to him at night and said, You're not going to hurt him. So God kept them that entire time, saying, touch not mine anointed, do my prophets no harm. So he was protecting them while he was working his covenant, the covenant being with those people, yet God kept them so that he could do the work and bring them into the land. We'll see more about that tomorrow as we look at verses 16 through 20, so I hope you'll join me then here on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. For more fresh and delicious Bible studies, podcasts, books, and more, check out the Bible Bistro online and on YouTube. Join me again next time for Daily Dose Radio.